Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Time to take that walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Look at this big bottle. This is from Evil Twin Liquid Double Fudge. Well, that sounds good, don't it? Guys, this come from Rico. Rico sent this to me. Want to shout him out right off the bat. Rico, you're the man. You're awesome. You're my craft beer brother. All the beers you sent me have been freaking awesome, guys. Maybe except for the Super Bock, but I'm glad I got to try that one. Everybody that knows me and watches my beer reviews, I had a little issue with Jeppy, the guy that does the Evil Twin beers, and haven't been buying any of his stuff recently, and everybody that follows me knows why. I'm not going to get into that now. Him and his brother McKellar, that does McKellar beers, they do some really tasty stuff, especially in the darker beers, but they are very pricey. And Jeppy is a vagabond brewer just like his brother, and goes from brewery to brewery having them do his beers, and depending on whether they have a dating machine or not, depends on whether they have a date on the bottles or not. A lot of their darker beers like this, it's not that critical. We'd like to see a vintage on it, but it's not that critical to have the day that it was done. But I would like to know whether it was done in January of that year or December of that year. Would help. But it is what it is, guys. I'm not going to get into that now. I have stopped buying Evil Twin beers, so the only beers you're going to see me review is the beers from Evil Twin that people have sent me, like this one from Rico. So, this is their Liquid Double Fudge. Sounds very tasty, and he does a great job on the darker beers. He really, really does. But he's got a nonchalant, kind of asshole attitude about it. I'm not going to get into it. So, anyway, we'll see what this one brings to the table. They do some great dark beers, guys. I will not fault him for that. He is very good at that. So hopefully this one won't be overcarbonated like the one I'm speaking about, and it'll be a very tasty beer. 22-ounce bomber, and their beers are not cheap. I wouldn't be surprised if this beer didn't cost $22 to $25 for this bottle. Kind of pricey. Kind of pricey. Alright, let's get on with this. 12% ABV. I don't have the IBUs listed here. There may or may not be a date or vintage on this bottle somewhere. I will look when I come back for the final chug. Like I said, it's not that critical, but would like to see him put a vintage on it somewhere, and I see nothing on the label. So, not surprising. Not surprising at all from this guy. Over to the food pairings for this style of beer, being an American Double Imperial Stout. Chooses a buttery, brie good, Havarti Swiss, and goes well with your chocolate dishes, of course. It is a big beer, 12%, not a little man's beer. This is a big boy's beer. This is a sipper, not a chugger. Enjoy this, share this with somebody. Don't drink all this by yourself. That'd be a shame. That would be a real shame. If you drink all this by yourself, you're gonna have a buzz going on. Ain't no doubt about that. So, drink it at home if you're going to drink it all yourself. Don't drink this out somewhere else. And if you are drinking it out at a bar or a brew pub or something like that, and they have it on tap, make sure you got somebody that's going to drive you home. Don't get in trouble, guys. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. You don't want to hurt anybody, yourself or anybody else. So, just want to check that out there. Just trying to be, I don't want to say politically correct, but you don't need that hassle in your life. Trust me, you don't. That's why I do all my drinking here. Yeah, Glassware, pint, becker, non-tumbler, snifter, oversized wine glass. Got my favorite snifter today, guys. And it says can be solid for a long period. 12%. This beer keep 20 years, guys. I can't think of a reason why I would not. So that's all we need to talk about. So let's stop talking and start pouring. A little bit of hiss, not a big hiss, which is a good thing. It doesn't mean it's going to explode all over the ceiling. Oh, it's pitch black coming out. It's like used motor oil coming out of the bottle. Ooh, yeah. And that's a big bottle. It's a 22 ounce, enough to share. That's what I intend to do. Not quite a finger and a half, maybe a finger and a quarter of head. Over to the light, there is none. It is pitch black, guys. Dark, 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 dark. And definitely a chocolate colored head there. Very creamy on the outside, small bubbles, and very creamy on the top here. A few bigger bubbles from that aggressive pour. Looks very nice. Almost looks like yogurt on top. Very nice. A great beer to finish up the evening with. This final beer of the evening for me. Let's get a nose on it. I'm getting some coffee in there too. Chocolate. Roasted malt. Almost to the burnt characteristics on the malt. Dark fruit. I am getting the chocolate, but I don't know about the fudge part of it. Now, when I think of fudge, I'm thinking about more of a milk chocolate than a bittersweet chocolate. It smells pretty damn good. And that head is sticking around. It hadn't went anywhere. It's right up there in your face. Smells good. Rico, I appreciate you sending me this beer. Me and Jeppy's feuding, so I'm not buying his beers. I appreciate you sending it to me. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. A lot of chocolate in that. Whole lot of chocolate. I would say he brewed this with a lot of chocolate malt. I don't think there's any chocolate been introduced into the beer, but a lot of chocolate malt, I would say. A lot of, almost say burnt roasted malt. Very deep, very dark. And guys, I am getting a lot of coffee in this. Even though it doesn't mention coffee, or it's brewed with coffee, I am getting some espresso coffee notes in this beer. So that may fade if you try to sell this beer 5 or 10 or 15 years. I'm not sure. Since it doesn't have anything listed that they introduced any coffee into this beer, we might be getting all that from the malt. But I am definitely getting that coffee notes. Wow. It's very delicious, guys. He does a great job on these dark beers. No doubt about it. And I'll look at the bottle when I come back with the final chug. See if there's any kind of dating anywhere. Like I said, he goes from brewery to brewery and having this guys, whoever he chooses, to brew his beers, his recipe, and produce and bottle his beers. So, it depends on what brewery he chooses, whether they have a dating machine or not. And, or to me, if he's going from brewery to brewery, he already put it on the label. He has to have the label approved, and it usually takes several months for that to happen. And more than likely, they're only brewing it one time for him. So, there's a whole lot of issues I got with Jeppy. So, we're going to leave it at that. He does make some great dark beers. So, let me sip on this for a while, pour her a glass, and we'll come back and see where this one ends up. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not holding anything against Jeppy. If it's a great beer, I'm going to tell you it's a great beer. If it's not so great, yeah, I'm going to tell you it's not so great. But this is pretty damn tasty. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sipping on about 30 minutes or so. Went very well with the Obsidian cigar that I was smoking outside. Nice leathery, spicy, woody notes to go with this exceptional beer. It is very tasty. I looked at the bottle when I come back. There is no dating whatsoever on it. And I did not expect it to be. he does what he does, and he does a good job on these darker beers. But he could care less what you think or what any of us think about his beers. I've already found that out myself. So, very tasty. Very well done. Rich roasted malt, chocolate. Not getting that sweet milk chocolate that I was expecting from the fudge on the front label and stuff. For 12%, the alcohol is very well hidden. Hints of some dark fruit in there. Very well done. But like I said, for something that has fudge in it, I was thinking more of a milk chocolate, something brewed with some lactose in it. Not getting it on this final choke. Very tasty beer, guys. Very delicious beer. If he would have been advantage on his bottles, telling us this is a 2014, 2013, 2016 edition of this beer, I would be more inclined to give him a better grade than I do, even though it's not critical on this type of beer. I mean, this beer is going to keep for a long, long, long time. So, just my OCD on this, and especially since me and him are feuding. Very tasty, very well done. I do think it's an A beer, but with no vintage or anything like that on there, and not having that lactose or the milk chocolate taste, having fudge on the label, I'm gonna give it a 90, which is the A minus. Numeric rating on this beer, guys, would probably be a 90. That's where I would give this beer. I do think it's an A beer. I do. I think it's a very tasty beer. Very worth picking up and selling if you so choose to, or drinking it now. 12%. The alcohol is very well hidden. Very well done. It is. It is a very well done beer. Over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says 91, so I'm giving it a 90. I've got a 91 from them. And over to Great Beer, they say 97 overall, but 71 in the style. So we got a 90, a 91, and a 97. So all A numbers on this beer, guys. Very tasty. Very nice. Not cheap, though. Rico, you may post what you paid for this beer. 22 ounce. I would think it would probably be between $12 and a $15 range. Very nice. It is very nice. So and he does a great job on these dark beers. He really does. So, but his arrogance leaves a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. So, with that being said, if you've had this one from them, Evil Twins Liquid Double Fudge, let me know what you think. And come on back tomorrow. Let's see what we dig out of the freeze then. See you guys.